Hello and welcome back, and today we're looking at the Marvel Legends Ghost Rider with his Hell Cycle. This is part of the retro 3.75-inch 5 POA series that Hasbro has been releasing for the past several years. This was part of the latest and presumably last wave of this series, as Hasbro has announced that this series is now resting, which I guess is a more palatable corporate way of saying that the line is canceled. Presumably this was done to make room for the new Epic Heroes line, which is a 4-inch, more kids-focused line, which is what Spin Masters has been doing for the past several years with the Batman and DC properties, which is great. It's good to see more toy lines focused at kids rather than collectors. It's just unfortunate that they didn't have a chance to really complete this line as far as giving us a full roster of Avengers and Spider-Man villains and things like that. But I'm happy with what we got. It was a good-looking line while it lasted. This Ghost Rider is the only boxed figure in the series, and I'm not sure why they went with a box. I'll get to that in a minute, but it is one of those plastic-free, windowless boxes. So you have a nice illustration on the front with a photo of the figure and the classic 1970s Ghost Rider logo. There is a different bit of artwork on the side, and on the back we get a small bio card done in 5 different languages and a nice shot of the toy inside. And it's got a little dotted line around it, just like the illustrations on the back of the old Mego boxes in the 70s. You can cut this out and save it if you like, if you don't want to save the entire box. I do think this box is a bit of overkill though, because when you open it up and look at the contents, you have this one figure, which is the size of that illustration, and the bike, which was a lot smaller than I expected. So the figure is packed on one side of the box, the bike is on the other side, and there's a lot of empty space in the middle. So what they could have done was put this on maybe an oversized card back, like they did with the Sentinel, so that minted package collectors could have something to display rather than this plastic-free box. As with all the other figures in this line, this figure is, and we're used to saying 5 POA, but in reality they're 7 POA because you do have wrist swivel on most of the figures. Not all of them, but most of them. So he is a 7 POA, shoulders, hips, wrists, and the head. And he is the original 1970s Johnny Blaze version of Ghost Rider in his stunt cycle jumpsuit. The head is nicely done, and the flames on the skull are translucent, so he is a good-looking little figure. The Hell Cycle is modeled after the cycle that was on the cover of Ghost Rider number 25. So you have the solid red bike with the skull symbol in the back there. The headlight is painted, and you also get this little Ghost Rider symbol on the gas tank, which was kind of silly considering that he's a hell demon out to punish the guilty, but he's got a little sticker of himself on the gas tank. I also noticed that on the top of the gas cap is the Medallion of Power. Now I believe that made its first appearance during the run of the second Ghost Rider, Danny Ketch. So I'm not sure why they would include that on the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider bike, unless I'm mistaken and it appeared earlier than the second volume, but I don't think I am. So besides those few painted parts and that little decal, it is a solid red. The 2 tires, I don't know if you can see on camera, but they are molded in a slightly more translucent red. We have 4 moving parts on the vehicle, 2 wheels. The handlebars can swivel side to side just a little bit, and there is a kickstand on this side so you can stand the bike up. Ghost Rider sits on that bike really well. Because of the swivel wrists, he can grip those handlebars with no problem. And it's a really nice display piece. I'm happy with how this came out. But it is just a bit overpriced for what it is. Online retailers were selling this for around $25. But I was shocked to see that in stores, Target is selling this for $33. This is not a $33 toy, not even close. So if you see this at Target for that price and you want to pick it up on impulse, don't. Check for a better price online, or at least try to get some sort of a coupon or discount from Target. I know they have those red card deals they run every once in a while with toys. Just do not pay $33 for this. Even at $25, it's a lot for this. When I first saw this figure announced, I was excited to get him, because he reminded me of one of my favorite toys from my childhood. Back in the 1970s and 80s, there was a toy company called Fleetwood. Fleetwood was a maker of inexpensive rack toys, the type of toys you'd find at supermarket checkouts, convenience stores, and grocery stores. Fleetwood had quite a number of licenses for their rack toys. TV shows like Emergency, The Fall Guy, and The A-Team, and even properties that didn't otherwise have toys made for them, like the Filmation cartoon Space Sentinels, the television sci-fi show Manimal, and the film American Ninja starring Michael Dudikoff. Fleetwood also had the license to make rack toys for Marvel Comics superheroes. Many of the toys they sold were so-called label slap toys, which were the same molds, such as plastic walkie-talkies or plastic guns, and they would just put different labels on them, put them in different packaging, and sell them under many different licenses. But that was not the case with the Ghost Rider motorcycle they released in 1977. There were two versions of this toy. The first one, which I had, was a red and chrome motorcycle with a static PVC figure of Ghost Rider sitting on top. What was unique about this toy is that it came with an alternate head. So you could switch the Ghost Rider head for the Johnny Blaze human head. And during the course of your play, you could transform him into Ghost Rider. Alternate parts are commonplace these days with action figures, but back in the 70s, that was something unusual to see. Fleetwood then released a second version of the Ghost Rider bike, which more closely resembled that motorcycle from the cover of Ghost Rider number 25. It was an all-red cycle with that Ghost Rider symbol on the side of the gas tank. And that's the toy that this Marvel retro figure reminded me of. When carded examples of the Fleetwood Ghost Rider toy appear on eBay, they sell for quite a lot of money, with the first version selling for over $1,000, and at the time of this recording, the only carded version of the second series Red Cycle on eBay has a buy it now price of almost $5,000. But the seller is taking best offers, so hey, offer the guy 25 bucks, take a shot. What do you got to lose? And if rack toys are a subject that you have an interest in, I highly recommend this book, Rack Toys, Cheap Crazed Playthings, published by the Nacelle Company and written by Brian Heiler, aka Brick Mantooth, of Plaid Stallions and Toy Ventures magazine. This book is a nice little encapsulation of all the different rack toys you'd find back in the 70s and 80s. There were a plethora of Batman toys, and Spider-Man, Marvel superheroes, Planet of the Apes, Star Trek, Monsters, hey, I know that guy, and even that original Fleetwood Ghost Rider toy. That's it for my look at this Marvel Legends Retro Ghost Rider with motorcycle. Hope you enjoyed looking at this with me, as well as learning a little bit about the very first Ghost Rider toy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.